Hi, Shannon here. I'm out for a walk. I left my bedroom. I'm thinking about filters today because yesterday I had this really bad day. I'm a teacher librarian, and so I kind of pride myself on being tech savvy because people assume that as a teacher librarian that you can fix their device. And so for some reason yesterday I couldn't get anything technological to work. It's like nothing worked. And so it just made for this really just awful day where like I felt out of sorts. The night before, my husband had woken me up. He likes white noise, and every night we pair my cell phone to our speaker and we play Rain. And I hadn't turned it on, and so he was turning it on, and I realized I didn't have a filter because I was asleep, and suddenly I'm awake, and like I could drink 2 glasses of wine and still be able to tell you how to change some setting on your iPhone. Like I just can do those things. And so I just like rip it out of his hand. I'm like, you're doing it wrong. I don't know if my eyes are even open. And I just fix it for him, you know? So the next day, it was like the next day, I think, nothing was working. Maybe it's karma, I don't know. But I realized that morning that like, when he woke me up, like my filter doesn't come on right away. And so this feeds into like mom guilt because I have 4 kids. They're spaced way apart. I've been a mom for almost 30 years. And my daughter will actually be 30 next month. And so you have a lot of mom guilt because if you don't have your filters on, you sometimes say things you wish you wouldn't. And so this morning, after I had this really awful day, I love to cook, and I burnt our dinner. And so I couldn't get it together yesterday. And I still did everything I needed to do, right? But this morning, my kids woke up. I'm not kidding you. It was still dark out. And it was sometime before 6 a.m. And they wanted to watch a movie on Netflix. And which of course at 5:50 in the morning, I'm like, yeah, please watch something on Netflix if you're awake. My husband hates television for them. But for some reason yesterday, Netflix had failed. So I literally had to like start Netflix as if we were getting a new account to reset it up. And my daughter goes, she's 8, she says, "You're doing it wrong," in this real whiny voice. And David was in the back, and he's awake too because they woke us up both up. And he laughs and he says, I just went off on her, and I was like, "Will you please just shut up?" But I realized like I didn't have a filter at that moment either because I just been woken up, and now I'm trying to like download the Netflix app on my smart TV. It's just not working. So I think that, like I said, it feeds into your sense of mom guilt because you're gonna have these moments where you can't be perfect. And our society doesn't really allow for us to not be perfect, right? So we have these bad days, or, just woke up in the middle of the night, your kid wakes up throwing up, and like, weirdly, I'm really good at that. Like, but I've had 4 kids, right? So for almost 30 years, I've been doing this, and I have to say, it doesn't ever get easier. I don't think there's a perfect age to have kids. I had a kid at 18, 23, 39, and 42. And, my oldest will turn 30 next month, and my youngest one is 5. And so I don't ever get over that mom guilt, right? So I'm just like, will you please shut up? My husband's back there just laughing because I'm just like, I'm kind of losing my shit for not really any real reason other than she's telling me I'm doing it wrong in that whiny voice. And I don't know how that we as women in American culture can give ourselves grace, right? Because I think we're doing the best that we can, right? And our society isn't particularly gracious to us, right? We don't have good access to medical care or child care. We don't have necessarily family leave or vacation or sick leave. I spent most of my life working crap jobs, even though I worked my way through 2 graduate degrees. I made crap wages and I didn't have sick leave. So like, you know, you have somebody that works at a store or something, they can't take time off. So, you know, when they have the flu, they come to work. What are they supposed to do, right? And so if you're a mom living that life, you're just kind of gonna lose your shit sometimes, right? You're not gonna have your filter up where you're like sweet. You know, this idea that mom should be like sweet or something, because it's not feminine to be all aggressive. But you can't always do that. You can't always be that. And I think that if we would just collectively say, we're gonna give ourselves grace, and it's okay if we sometimes don't have that stupid freaking filter. That's okay. You know, if we would all collectively just say, it's okay that we're not perfect, that we don't say everything perfect to our kids, that sometimes, because it's 5:50 in the morning and your kid's whining to you about the television, that it's okay to be like, you just freaking shut up. Because I am doing the best I can, half awake, to make the stupid device work for you. I think because we don't do that, we're not allowed that, I guess. I don't know who gets to decide this. Who gets to decide what is acceptable for us to be? Sometimes I think it's us, like, right? Like, who's the harshest critic of women? The women, right? My husband's always like, why do you have to do or be this way? It's okay if your house isn't clean. But does it ever feel like it's okay if your house isn't clean? I don't know about you, but for me, it never feels okay that my house isn't clean. Is it clean right now? Heck no. Right? Like, I've just kind of given up. I cannot be perfect. And I don't even know what perfect is anymore. You know? Maybe it's not losing your shit at 5:50 a.m. But I know that if she was awake and she was sick and she was vomiting, like, I know that I excel with that, right? Maybe not if I'm throwing up too, I guess, but I think we have to take the moments when we can excel and be something that we can be proud of. I think we need to take that and just focus on that and kind of laugh at ourselves when we're like, you just shut up and let me fix this device for you. So that's it, just filters. The filters we have, sometimes they just aren't there. So stay safe, get some exercise, I guess. That's what I'm doing. My husband's working from home. I just didn't want to be in the house for a while.